Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Hope you had a good weekend. How could you not have a good weekend? The weather was absolutely beautiful. I've been saying it for a few weeks now. Mother Nature's finally showed up. Thank you, Mother Nature. We love you for that. No more rain. We don't need any of that right now. Maybe when the grass gets brown, then you're allowed to rain again. That's the rule of Mother Nature. Anyway, we're grateful for the nice weather. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Did you get out and enjoy it? What did you do? There's never lack of anything to do here in Sarnia Lambton. I was busy, as per usual, this past weekend. Well, previously, some friends of mine on Friday night, some friends of mine, friends of ours, we got together and went to dueling pianos. We'll talk about that coming up in just a moment. But Sarnia Veg Fest, the third annual, very successful Sarnia Veg Fest, happened again down at Canatera Park, and my friend Tasha Lobsinger invited me down again. We had a great time talking to lots of people and learning the difference between vegetarian and vegan. Oh, you didn't know there was a difference? Neither did I, but we found out and discovered that. And some of those videos, all of those videos are on my Facebook page as well. And I know they're having a cruise on the Duke d'Orleans tonight. If you're watching this live on Monday, July the 8th, they're having a vegan cruise on the Duke d'Orleans. Sorry I can't make it, Tasha. I know you invited me, but I got to be elsewhere. So it looks like you're going to have really nice weather for that. And check out our friends at Duke d'Orleans at dukedorleans.com. They've got lunch cruises, dinner cruises, band cruises, music cruises. They got cruises all summer long. And Ken and Sherry and Jim down there, fantastic people. So there's my friend Tasha. Thanks again. And congratulations on another successful Sarnia Veg Fest. Also, yesterday afternoon, then I was down at Rock and Roll running my karaoke. Jennifer's been running it for a while, but she had family stuff to go to. So I was there hanging out with my friends. We had a lot of fun doing karaoke. We're there every Sunday at Rock and Roll, a pool hall. Yes. For over 10 years, we've been doing karaoke from 3 to 7 in the afternoon. It's a lot of fun, good times, and some good food and good drink prices. And it's just a nice atmosphere on a Sunday afternoon. I know it's nice out, but if it gets a little too hot, you can come on inside and have some fun with us. Even if you don't sing, karaoke people need audiences too, so come on down and check that out. It was a few people I hadn't seen in a while too, so that was fantastic. Coming up, we had Eve Morgan on here a few weeks ago talking about the Brights Grove Market. It's all about the local out in Brights Grove, local food, local crafts, and local music, and it happens every Wednesday out in Brights Grove on the Kenwick on the Lake, the southwestern Ontario Riviera that we live on here. What a great place to get together. And you know what else happens? There's a lot of fellowship happens, a lot of socializing, and again, supporting local. And Eve Morgan's worked hard at putting that on at the Brights Grove Market every Wednesday from 4 till about 7:30. Might even go a little bit longer. Depends how many people show up. So check that out. That's happening all throughout the summer into September. And then every Wednesday, as I like to call it, it is live music, open mic night with our friends down at Village Gardens here in Sarnia on East Street. And my friend Doug Fergie Ferguson. Yes, we have a Fergie here. We've got our own Fergie, a different Fergie, but he plays the guitar. And he gets in there and welcomes people to come up and join him and sing along. And if you have a guitar or an instrument, hey, you know what? I'd like to see somebody bring a trumpet in or something. Nobody ever thinks of doing that. Or trombone or whatever you've got. Bring it in there at 9 o'clock on Wednesday evenings at Village Gardens. And, of course, they've always got some specials on there as well. I haven't been in a few weeks. I was going for 2-3 weeks in a row at one point, having a lot of fun. And I'm sorry I haven't been back. But, Ferg, I promise I'll do my best to get in here this week. And there's always good people in there, too. So get out there. Nothing to do during the week. Well, there you go. Every Wednesday, Village Gardens here in Sarnia. The battle of what? Well, it's just a battle. It's a volleyball battle. It's a volleyball tournament, battle for the summer, and also a tribute to summer, which is now sponsored by Mick Jackson from Asante. And look at this. Look what's happened. Let's give you a close-up of that again. Full Petty Fever, a Tom Petty tribute, and Sandman, a Metallica tribute. And this is all in support of Empower Play Inc. Our friend Graham Holmes, who was here a few weeks ago, talked to us about Empower Play, which its mission is to tear down the financial barriers that prevent people from getting involved in sports, particularly young people, and which I think is a great idea. He's been working on this for about 5 years now. And this event out at Valley Axe this Saturday, July the 13th, is to support all of that. And they have a sports exchange program as well that Graham talked about, where you have maybe skates or gloves or whatever sports equipment you got doesn't fit you or work for you anymore. You can trade that in and trade up. And what a great concept. But they need money to make this work as well to help, again, tear down those financial barriers. You ever wonder maybe what talent we're missing in the sports world because somebody couldn't afford to get started in the first place? Hate to think of that, right? So if you want to have some fun with this, it's happening out there. Tickets at the door, $25 or $15 in advance. Go to Empower Play Inc. on Facebook to get more information about that. I will be out there. I won't be playing volleyball. Sorry, not my thing. But I'll be happy to watch that. But I will be involved with the music on stage that night down at Valley X. Again, this Saturday, July the 13th. I want to say special mention to this one. My friend Sean Schramm, who I've known for a few years, and he is pursuing his dream of being a full-time musician. And he's done a lot of things for it. He's gone to school for taking audio and he's jamming away, and he's just having a lot of fun with his music. And the Midnight Special. Now, if you're old enough to remember this, well then, like I am, barely. But if you really remember the Midnight Special, the television special, you're revealing your age for sure. But this is an unplugged version of the Midnight Special happening down at Piccadilly's Bar and Grill here in Sarnia, just down the street from where I'm at here on Divine Street. And that's July 13th, this Saturday at 9 o'clock in the evening. DJ Nightlife's going to be there as well. And again, Sean Schramm, the Midnight Special Unplugged Tribute this Saturday down at Piccadilly's. Check that out. And if once a week karaoke wasn't enough, the Moose Lodge is welcoming me back starting July the 4th. So July the 26th, the fourth Friday of every month. We're booked all the way up into December at this point at the Moose Lodge here in Sarnia. Starts at 9, goes to 1. We always have lots of fun. Good people come in there. Again, they have all the drink specials, food specials, and they give me some prizes to give away too. And again, even if you don't sing, if you're just looking to come out and be entertained and have some fun with some other great people, come on out and join us there. I'll be back there on July the 26th, the Moose Lodge here in Sarnia. The last time we did this, we might have went a little longer than one because we were just having that much fun. So that was good. And I usually get to see some I don't like saying old, but I will. Old karaoke friends from way back that I haven't seen in a long time tend to show up. And because we can't go out every night anymore because we're older. But once a month, we can probably handle that. So I hope you come down and join me at the Moose Lodge on July the 26th and then the fourth Friday of every month down there. All right, looking forward to this as well. July the 20th, it is a return of Banger in the Hangar, the Blue Water Boxing Club. Last time they had this on last year, welcomed Ireland. This year, they've shifted a little bit, and they're bringing some friends from Scotland over, and that's the battle is going to be between Scotland and Sarnia. Caitlin Clark, who's a Canadian champion, joined us here a few weeks ago. She's very excited to be in the bout as well. And it's going to be a fantastic day. Now, you can come in and watch this live out at the hangar out at the Sarnia Airport on July the 20th, and that's going to be at 7 o'clock. Doors will open at 6. If you can't make it out there and you want to watch from home, I'm happy to say I will be live streaming that pay-per-view. So you will still have to pay, but you'll be able to watch it in the comfort of your living room, or maybe you want to get together with some friends and watch this exciting boxing event, live pay-per-view on the Video Show Network on our webpage, tvsn.ca. You can check that out. And we're happy to be back again to see some amazing bouts that are going to be happening there. A title bout soon to be announced. You're not going to want to miss this if you're a boxing fan. So that's coming up on July the 20th. Go to the Blue Water Boxing Club on Facebook and send them a message to find out how you can get more of your tickets, or if you know some of the boxers that are involved, they've got the tickets as well. It's going to sell out fast. It's pretty close, actually. Last year, it ended up selling out about 600 people in that room watching these fights. So July the 20th, boxing fans, mark that on your calendar. Another one to mark on the calendar. Very exciting for not just Sarnia, the Sarnia-Lambton area and everywhere else. People are coming from all across Canada and some from the United States to this Tall Ships event that is happening August 9th to the 11th. How do we know that? Well, our friend Rob Hardward, the Director of Parks and Recreation, they can check where the ticket sales are being done online. And he's telling me they're coming from all over. People are planning vacations around this because the Tall Ships are coming to Sarnia. And one of them is the Blue Nose 2. And I'm happy to say I will be there, a part of this, as well as Blue Water Border Fest and Artscape. And they're going to keep me busy. I will be at Tall Ships, Border Fest, Artscape all weekend long for 4 days, because Blue Water Border Fest starts on August the 8th. If you haven't heard already, the Country Night's been announced. Tyler Farr will headline that on the Thursday. I will be everywhere with the Tall Ships, Artscape, and Blue Water Border Fest. And I will have the privilege of being a part of the Parade of Sails coming in on the Blue Nose 2. So very excited. And we'll be broadcasting that live right from the Blue Nose, and all weekend. Busy. I'm going to need lots of sleep after that, but very excited to be a part of this. And if you haven't got your tickets for the Tall Ships yet, you should go online and go to the Tall Ships Celebration on Facebook, and then they've got their website there, and get the tickets. It's going to be, they're expecting thousands, and I mean like 30, 40,000 people at this event. And if all goes well, we'll have them back again about every 4 years, right? So that all depends on people getting out there and enjoying this. And what a great way to showcase Sarnia Lambton and what we all have to offer. Again, not just in Sarnia, but surrounding areas here as well. There's always lots to do. We live in such a beautiful community here, especially with all this water around us. What a great opportunity. So again, mark that on your calendar, August 9th to the 11th for the Tall Ships. And of course, going into more long weekends, the weekend before that, Captain Kidd Days is happening on the long summer holiday weekend. I will be at Captain Kidd Days as well. And boy, I'm going to be busy this summer. It's a lot of fun to get out there and enjoy these. This happens, of course, Captain Kidd Days out in Corunna, and that's on the August long weekend. And the movie night will also happen on August the 1st, the Thursday night, thanks to Main Street Credit Union. And a youth talent showcase, once again, will be put on by myself and sponsored by Lisa Aubin. Everything she touches turns to sold, if you didn't know. And we'll be putting out that this evening. If you know somebody 18 years of age and younger that would like to participate in this youth talent showcase, keep in mind, it is a showcase. It is not a contest. We just simply want to encourage our young people to get up on stage, perform, and show off their talents, and get comfortable up on that stage, because it can be, it can be kind of scary getting up on stage, right? I'll have information posted on our Facebook page later on tonight. We hope you'll share that around. It's absolutely free to go into. And we might have some prizes for that as well. And some great bands and entertainment. They'll have the Captain Kidd Days Parade, and they will have some bouncy castles and all kinds of fun supporting different initiatives in the Corunna area. So looking forward to that as well. Captain Kidd Days. Well, I talked about the dueling pianos this past Friday, that myself and several friends, only 100 tickets were sold for this, and it sold out very quickly. We had a lot of fun there. Dave Thomas and Matt Gauthier were the dueling pianists, and everybody was well entertained. And congratulations to Adam Dumont, who is also the creator of Sarnia Sings, put this on, and he's got more plans. And it went so well, they're having another one already. August the 2nd will happen here in Sarnia. Tickets are only $25. And that's happening at the corporate center here in Sarnia. We'll have more information coming up with this. But go to Sarnia Sings on Facebook, or go to the Dueling Piano Company on Facebook, and the information will be there on how you can get your tickets. Don't wait. Unfortunately, I can't go to this one, but you'll be well entertained, guaranteed. And he's planning on putting them on regularly. If you want to find out more about that, again, go to the Dueling Piano Company or Sarnia Sings on Facebook. Going to be a good time again. Blue Water Border Fest, as we talked about, still time to get tickets for that. BlueWaterBorderFest.com. There's the announcements. Everything's up there now. Tyler Farr, as I just talked about, for the Country Night. Big Wreck is going to be there, and of course that's exciting for many different reasons. Exciting and a bit sad, as if you're a Big Wreck fan, you'll know that Brian Doherty recently passed away. Therefore, this performance, $2 from every ticket to go see Big Wreck, will be donated to the Canadian Cancer Society. A great performance and an emotional performance, I'm sure, that night with Big Wreck. And then moving on, there will be so much more. These guys are rockers. They just keep going on. Good for them. Dennis DeYoung performing the music of Styx, and some guys from Asia. And we've got a guy from Night Rangers going to be there. And Lou Graham, the voice of Foreigner, really looking forward to that, will be there as well. And just go to bluewaterborderfest.com to find about everybody who's performing. I will be there backstage interviewing many of the band members. I'll be the master of ceremonies for that weekend as well. I'm going to need a lot of sleep after this, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you'll come out and join us. Go to bluewaterborderfest.com to get your tickets. Don't wait. Sarnia, last minute town. I've heard that. And you know what? We'll go back to the Sarnia Sings. Adam and I were talking about that. That's sold out in advance. The dueling piano sold out in advance. Don't wait last minute to get your tickets. Put it on your calendar and go. Just go. All right. Well, speaking of lots of things to do, art is something that's a big part of what happens around here in Sarnia. We're a very artisan community. And I say Sarnia Lambton, and I like to include everybody as I can in Sarnia Lambton. Petrolia is one of those areas, and Art in the Park is coming up this weekend. And our friend Barbara Prescott is in the lobby patiently waiting. Here she is. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Barbara. Hello. Hello, Barbara. Hello. All right. We'll come back to her in just a moment, I guess. Stand by. Let's message her. It always happens. Something's got to happen. Going to try that again. Hello, Barbara. Can you hear me?
Hi, Dave. Are you there?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me? Say something. Yep. I hear you, Barbara. All right. All right, we'll come back to Barbara because our next guest is ready. So, Jenny, if you're ready, I will bring you in, and we'll talk with you. Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, okay. We'll come back to Barbara. All right. Well, see, that's why you're. If you can't be on time, be early, right?
That's right.
Well, Jenny Greensmith, thanks so much for being here, and I appreciate you being ready, just in case, like that. These technical world that.
I've been ready since 11 this morning, Dave. Don't worry.
You've done really well. Thanks for being here. I know you're really busy with a lot of things, but today we want to talk about the Rotary Club of Sarnia. And I know the first thing we want to talk about is you have the 38th annual Mackinac Pancake Breakfast coming up.
We do, and it's going to be such fun. You know, it's such a part of the fabric of Sarnia life, that event down by the waterfront on the day that the boats begin their race up to Mackinac. Yeah, absolutely. We're so excited to be there again. Making some changes this year. So this is good too, just to be more environmentally conscious.
Yeah. 38 years of this happening. I mean, that's a real milestone for any club. And of course, the Rotary Club is not just local. This is worldwide. But one of the things we wanted to talk about is to help people understand, like, you know, when we had our conversation, we said, oh, well, people, Rotary, they do that pancake thing. But what is Rotary all about? I mean, what is their goal and mission?
Well, Rotary is kind of made up of three parts. So there's the clubs, that I'm a part of, and that we have 3 clubs in Sarnia. We have a number out in the county. There's Rotary International, which is the huge international organization. And then there's the Rotary Foundation, which again is the international foundation. And together, they all work to make change in communities and around the world.
Yeah, and that's a big statement to make when you're talking on a worldwide scale. But they've really been effective, especially, I hope I get this right, but with curing polio, is that right?
Polio eradication,
Polio.
absolutely. We are so close to that in a number of countries, and then it keeps popping up again. And well, as you're probably aware, the concern is that some folks seem to think that immunization is not the way to go. We know, we have evidence that it is the way to go. And Rotary has done so much to eradicate that polio worldwide.
Yes, and that comes from, I guess, a lot of the different types of people that get involved in Rotary. You know, we see all walks of life, from doctors to lawyers to just it's a little bit of everybody and a little piece of each community that brings it all together, right?
I think Rotary speaks to everyone at some point in their lives. Sometimes it speaks to very, very young people. And we have our Interact clubs locally, which are for 12 to 18-year-olds, or somewhat later for those young people who want to go on and be community leaders between the ages of 18 and 30. And then to all kinds of business people, families who just want to get out and really help the Sarnia community.
Yeah, well, and I like the fact that you mentioned that different age group, because I think, how do I say this? The Rotary tends to, we want to attract the younger crowd, and I guess in any community, right? But Rotary seems to be recognizing more and more of that importance, and that's why these different demographics, age groups have been created, especially here in Sarnia that I see.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And there's no doubt that volunteerism in our community is changing somewhat. It's people like to volunteer, but they like to volunteer for something very specific for a short amount of time, maybe. But service clubs that exist enable you to do a number of different things. In our Rotary Club of Sarnia, we've got members who've really been part of Habitat Builds. We've got a strong group that goes monthly to the Inn of the Good Shepherd and creates the lunch that month. I know right now there's a call out for building the bunk beds, putting together the bunk beds for Camp Atawandran this summer to help the Scouts out. So there are different projects.
Yeah, it's an ongoing thing, right? I mean, and I think the other thing is, let me ask you as a Rotary member, and how long have you been a member?
I think it's about 8 or 9 years now, but it could be a lot longer. So I've been associated with Rotary ever since I came into this role at Pathways. So probably, actually, maybe about 11 or 12 years.
Yeah. Okay. So what I want to ask you then, being a member has, you obviously had your reasons for joining, but what has Rotary done for you as a member?
Oh, well, it's quite frankly, it's broadened my perspective, because coming at it, I suppose, as an agency representative, particularly an agency that has so much to do with children and youth with disabilities, which is what Rotary is all about. We have benefited so very much, but it's actually broadening my attitude and let me meet all kinds of different people. I know for a fact there are Rotarians who travel to do exchanges, business exchanges. I've never done one of those, but recently we had a young woman from Brazil. And she was an architect and did a placement with one of our architect companies locally. And it was just great to just hear more about other people in the world, because that's a lot of what it is, about understanding others. Because the more we understand each other throughout the world, the easier it will honestly be to do good together and to world peace. Sounds a very lofty goal, but it's bit by bit that you do this.
I couldn't agree with you more. And actually, one of the things I enjoy about live streaming is I've been able to connect with people over the world and being able to have these kind of conversations outside of our borders of where we live. There really is no borders anymore.
No.
And we're able to tap into that other communities, different cultures, and maybe we're not as smart as we think we are sometimes. Maybe we should be talking to other people outside of the other, you know what I mean? And it's a great way to connect. And I've been to a few Rotary lunches, that sort of thing. And one of the things I see and observe there is that all the different conversations that are going on. And I know the young lady you're talking about, and it's like, wow, this is not just touching locally here. This really is touching all over the world, but each community connecting. And that's really a big part of what Rotary sets out to be, right?
Yeah. And, our high school students, every year we try to have an exchange student come to one of our high schools locally, and we send somebody out. My own daughter, many, many years ago, went for a Rotary exchange to France. And very regularly, we support high school students to go and learn in other countries, and it's very beneficial for them.
And what do you think it is about? What do you think they're bringing back from that? Like this is the more of the experience of life too. To spread your wings and fly.
Well, other than live in a different culture completely, and to be away from home for so long, and to learn some independence, and to learn, how to get along with people, because there is no way that you spend a whole year without trying to get along with people. And we find that the young people, when they come back, they are so eloquent about what they learned and the lasting friendships they made, that they will continue. I know my own daughter still connects with people who call her up from that year.
Yeah. And you as a parent, when she came back, the conversations that you must have had with her, again, that's passing on that education to you, and while not the real life experience, but it must give you some joy as a parent to see your daughter grow with that.
It did. It gave us a lot of joy. A lot, it's there is no doubt that when they first go, and back in that day, we were not encouraged to pick up the phone, and there was no such thing as Facebook and all that. But for the first few weeks, we were really encouraged not to, just to let them find their own way. And it was tough sometimes, but yes,
tough both ways, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's the beginning of letting them spread their wings and fly. It really is.
Yeah, well, and great that opportunity is available, and
it is.
Again, good to see, because there's 3 clubs in Sarnia, is that right?
There are, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about an e-club as well. I don't know too much about it, but it meets over the internet. You have to log in every so often, and you meet to chat. And there is also a passport club, which I think is another different way of belonging. But yes, there are three groups. There is the one I belong to, which is the Rotary Club of Sarnia, and that is probably the oldest of the. And I don't mean this in terms of age necessarily, but I do mean it in terms of longevity of a club. And
Right.
and then there is the Sarnia Club of Blue Waterland, which is our breakfast club. So we're the lunch club. There's a breakfast club and there's an after hours club. So I think these clubs just took off because people found different times of day convenient,
Yep.
and that's how it happened.
Well, and again, different demographics, maybe different ideas, different
Yeah.
generations,
Yes.
and but at some point, all these clubs interact with each other here.
Well, they do for a certain number of get-togethers. I think Trivia Night is one where they all compete. The other thing is they are doing a wonderful fundraiser right now for an accessibility playground and it's with the city of Sarnia, and I think it's going to be in Kanatara Park. And it's their fundraiser that each club is contributing to is the Trip of the Month Club. So that trip is just drawn every month. I think it's on first Friday, and it's been a great fundraiser for them.
Well, it's nice to see this happening in a community, and even though there's three-ish clubs going on, it's nice to see that they interact with each other and each have their own kind of mission that kind of works together. Can I just ask you? You're at Pathways,
yes,
right now. What's the relationship with Pathways and Rotary?
Oh, it's huge. It's long-standing. It was Rotarians were amongst those who actually first identified the need for a centre such as ours in Sarnia. Till that time, they had transported kids to London for treatment, and they were doing that during the Second World War. So this was quite some time ago. In fact, as early as 1929, I believe. And of course, travel was a lot more difficult, and during the wartime, rubber for tires was really expensive. So they certainly recognized that Sarnia, there were enough kids in Sarnia who needed help locally. And then they gradually brought in some professionals who were, they were housed in wherever they had a treatment room, and it could be upstairs. So the Rotarians would not only pick the kids up from their homes, but they would also carry them up the stairs if they needed help in getting to see their physiotherapist. And so gradually the fundraising took place, the discussions with the government took place, and in 1970, the centre was incorporated. I think it was the Sarnia and Community Crippled Children's Centre at that time. We do not use those words now, but at that time it was quite politically correct. And 75, the first centre was built, and the pool was built in the mid-80s. And the Rotary Club of Sarnia has been a fervent supporter of each expansion that we've done, and also has provided monies to help with our clinical services. So it's been a lovely relationship, and we look on it very, very fondly.
Well, that's fantastic that those relationships can happen, and like you say, the longevity of relationships is important as well. Yeah. Jenny, I want to thank you so much for your time and being ready for me to help us through that little glitch there. That was fantastic. You're the savior today.
Oh, yes. You're welcome.
And please come back and join me anytime and keep us updated on what's happening with Rotary and with Pathways.
I will do. Take care.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Fantastic friend Jenny Greensmith. She's always a joy to talk to. I really enjoy catching up with her, and some great information there about Rotary that you may didn't know. or maybe didn't know, and there's 3 different clubs to choose from, different age groups, different kind of ideas, but they collaborate at the same time. And interesting to know about a new e-Rotary. I guess that kind of shows with the modern times of technology happening here. Of course, I talk a lot about live streaming, but it really is a great way to connect as well. So a little something to work out for everybody. All right, let's carry on now. I think she's ready. Our friend Barbara Prescott. She had to reboot. Here she is.
Hi, Dave.
You must hear me because she's laughing now. That's good.
I did have to reboot. I don't know what happened. You disappeared on me. I was there.
Oh, well, it's okay. It happens. We've got you here now, and that's fantastic. And it's so nice to see you. I don't get to see you as often as I'd like. I know we're both busy.
I know. And there was a time when we did this when we were both in the same park or in the same room, and now we get to do it this way. Yeah,
well, it's interesting. I get to do more this way, right?
I know.
Travel more.
Yeah, yeah.
Art in the Park is something that's in Petrolia. It's very near and dear to your heart. And you've got to be excited. It's coming up again this weekend.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Friday and Saturday, Friday 11 to 7 and Saturday 9 to 5. Can we talk about the music first?
Oh, yeah. Fire away.
Okay, so we've got a lineup of our traditional people that come and help us out every year. We've got the Sisters of Choice. We've got Doug Springstead and Steve Carapiet. But I wanted to talk about a lady that's new to us. She's only 15 years old.
Oh, wow.
Her name is Haley Doucette. She comes to us on Friday, July the 12th from 11:30 to 2. She's doing a half-hour set. She's performed in all of our youth idols and has never ranked below 3rd. As I said, she's 15 years old. She's from Tilbury. She's going into grade 10. She's been singing since the age of 5. She went down to Tennessee and get this. She won a singing contest, Vocalist of the Year and Entertainer of the Year.
Wow.
So it's really exciting to see some young local talent that we can give a platform to maybe expand a career or just show them off, because we certainly, they deserve it in this area.
Well, it's interesting, right? You bring that up because, when people get together and meet at these different functions, you never know who's going to show up, right? You never know who you might meet, and to be able to give them that opportunity to, share their talents. That's really got to add to the excitement of everything else that's already going on.
Right. And then we've got the Youth Idol on Saturday from 1 to 3. The categories range from age 5 to age 20. And the application forms are available online on our website. And so we hope lots of people, it's not too late, come on out and fill out an application, and we'd love to have you at the Rotary Youth Idol. We've got lots for the kids to do. We've got all sorts of free programming put on by the Optimist Club in the children's area. I think rumor has it they're going to be painting rocks and blowing bubbles and all kinds of fun free things for the kids to do.
I want to go.
I know, me too. We've also got a face painting artist. We've got someone who writes children's books. We've got someone who makes dolls' clothes. So lots for the younger set to do as well.
Right.
And
then a lot to keep busy. How long has this been going on now?
Oh, I think we've been doing it now for, 11 years or something like that. Carol Graham picked it up and then invited the rest of us along to help her out. And I've been in 1 year less than Carol. You're absolutely right. Near and dear to my heart. And I just love Art in the Park.
Now, is this put on by the town of Petrolia, or is this something that you've got to? Okay. So
Yeah.
the money that comes from this, what happens with that?
Well, the only money that comes into us would be from the fees for the vendors. We keep it very low. It's very reasonably priced. That goes to the town of Petrolia, and basically we're a break-even event. So that goes to pay the security guards, the porta potties, the advertising, that kind of stuff. The practical stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But you get a good turn. Of course, Mother Nature cooperating. You get good turn.
We're not going to talk about Mother Nature. She's going to cooperate this weekend.
Okay. Jay Peckham's watching out there. He says Carol Graham is awesome for sure.
She is awesome.
I
She
know
is
her as
awesome.
well. She is a great lady.
And she sings in the Sisters of Choice. So, I mean, we've got her
Yes.
all weekend. You know, it's fabulous.
And
Yeah.
they are fabulous. They're wonderful ladies, and they're a lot of fun to listen to as well. So, okay, what else is going on?
We've got a booth that does artist demonstrators that come in for 2-hour blocks, and they demonstrate their art. We've got a group this year. Now I've forgotten what time they're on. I can get that for you in a minute. I believe it's Saturday. And they are with a group called Concerns for the Medically Fragile.
Oh, yeah.
And they do some fabulous artwork. In fact, they're exhibiting right now in Victoria Hall, you know, where the VPP meets in Victoria Hall. And so they've got a 2-hour block, and they're going to come down and show us what they can do, as well as, felting artists, and lots of young artists are coming in for 2-hour blocks. Again, gives an opportunity for people who may not want to rent a booth for the whole weekend to show off their art, and gives an opportunity for the public to meet them and ask questions.
And the Concerns for the Medically Fragile, Sue Bendel, I've had her here on the show before, and I've seen some of the we Jennifer and I have purchased some of the art that they put out. It is fabulous. Have you ever heard of Unicorn Spit?
No, I have not.
All right. Well, you go in there and you say, "Where's the unicorn spit?" That's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay, I'm all over that one.
It's fabulous. We have drink coasters with unicorn spit.
Okay. I will find out and let you know.
And they're a good organization. So, how many vendors did you say you're going to have out there?
We've got 56 vendors plus 7 food vendors. So you can come and have Indian food and frozen yogurt and fried trucks coming, and all kinds of things. So if you're hungry, come on down. Yeah, right. The weather looks fabulous. The forecast looks great. What else did I want to tell you about? Lots of other things going on in Petrolia too that weekend. The merchants have their sidewalk sales. It's also Super Saturday, so you can pick up your passport and go around the merchants, and for every, I think it's $10, don't quote me on that, they stamp your passport, and when it's full, you put it in the box to win prizes. So lots going on there. There's also the farmers market, of course, and the Victoria Playhouse in Petrolia is playing Murder for Two. And
I'm hearing great reviews about Murder for Two. Like, wow. And I mean, no surprise. I mean, the Victoria Playhouse puts on fantastic shows, but this is really getting a lot of attention.
It is. It's a very unusual murder mystery that is solved playing a piano. And of course, there's Mark Payne and Alex Berg, 2 very, very talented young men on the stage. That plays Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday afternoon. So lots of opportunities this weekend to see that. The Lions Club are having a fish fry. So I'll tell you, Petrolia is the place to be this weekend.
Well, and it sounds like it's not just art in the park. Like, obviously, when these events happen, and it happens with other events in Petrolia, it seems like the merchants and everybody gets involved with it to kind of make it work for everybody, right?
It's definitely a community affair, and you can tell that we have Rotary Youth Idol, we have the Optimists helping out, we have, all the folks from the town come and help us set up. We have volunteers from every group. We have, I don't know if you've heard of Parents for Parks, who are raising money in Petrolia for playground equipment and accessibility in playgrounds. They are coming out and helping us with the info booth. So it's definitely a partnership. And it's a lovely way to meet people, and I mean, really art, and all forms of art, music and art and food.
You get a chance to meet Barbara.
Absolutely. I'll have a name tag on, so if you don't recognize the face, come look for the name tag.
Oh, you just got to look for the biggest smile in the place.
Thank you, David.
Are you an artist?
I'm someone that likes to do lots of different projects. I've done everything from wood carving to jewelry making. I'm in the process now of learning how to draw with pen and ink. So I wouldn't call myself any particular artist, but I do have an artistic side that likes to do project work. I would be bored silly with always doing the same thing.
I got you. Well, I have a great appreciation for art because I can't draw stick people. So I really appreciate people like you that are able to do that kind of stuff. And What time does all this start?
We start on Friday at 11 o'clock, right through till 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, we start earlier in the morning at 9 and finish at 5. And there's music all the time, food all the time. We don't take a break.
Okay, fantastic. What about parking now? Somebody comes into town. Is there lots of parking?
Downtown is always a challenge every time you hold an event downtown, but we do have parking. There's a parking lot right across from the theater, right across from the park. There are all kinds of parking behind the farmers market. Yeah, and we'll help you. If you come and haven't found a place to park, ask us. We'll help you.
Well, if I come out and it's nice, I'll be on the motorcycle. So I just want my motorcycle parking lot.
Well, we'll find you a spot for your motorcycle. And I don't think you've actually ever been, have you, Dave? Can I challenge you?
It's a challenge is one thing. If you could split me into about 5 different people, but I'll tell you what. We'll do this officially. We'll let's do this right now. So I have no excuses.
And you can bring Jennifer. She's a lovely lady.
Oh, can I?
She can do her Christmas shopping, Dave.
After 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I could be available.
On Friday or Saturday?
On the Friday.
Okay.
And then the Saturday, I can't believe I'm doing this live. I'll have to let you know.
Okay.
That's a busy day.
Well, you know where to find me.
Listen, if it's a nice day out and somebody wants me there and I'm not doing anything, it's a great excuse to get on my motorcycle and show up. So
I think the whole town of Petrolia will challenge you to get out there, Dave.
All
it's
right.
not like we don't have anything going on. Come on, you can come to Fish Fries, come to the theater.
Town of Petrolia says, we're so excited for Art in the Park, Petrolia. Thank you for having Barbara on. You're absolutely welcome. And there's our friend Larissa. Great committee and an awesome event. Thanks for watching here, Larissa. And we've got Jay Peckham's out there, Chrissy Jackson, and my friend Don. There's lots of people out there checking this out, so that's fantastic. Okay, I've put it in my calendar, folks. I didn't make a promise, but I will make a strong effort.
That's all right, but I'll be watching.
All right. Barbara, thank you so much for joining. And say hello to your other half as well. Hope is he going to be out there as well?
He's going to be playing, yes, on Saturday, just before the Rotary Idol.
All right. Fantastic. Barbara, thanks for bringing your smile to the show. We'll look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Can't wait. Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome. Barbara Prescott, another one who's always bringing a smile everywhere she goes. Nice to talk with her. And Petrolia, great place to get out to. They've always got stuff going on. Great community atmosphere out there. It's one of the great things I love about Petrolia. And as I've been saying, it's promoting Sarnia Lambton, not just Sarnia. And I've had to say to myself, okay, we got to keep going out there. We're going to Corunna, we're going to Petrolia. We're going to start hitting Watford, Wyoming, and everywhere else part of Sarnia Lambton. No lack of anything to do. If there's nothing to do, get off your couch. So thank you to our friend Barbara Prescott for doing that. Some creativeness is what we're about to talk about here, and promoting a lot of music and some other things here in town. And my friend Dwayne Cloes is here joining me now. Hello, Dwayne.
Hello, David. Hello, David. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for joining me today.
Sure.
You are a wandering mind.
I am many things, but yes, wandering mind is one of them. That's one of my side projects that I started a little while back. And I can basically sum it up if that's where we're going right now. I've always had an interest in subculture and things, bringing forward things that may never have been seen by anyone if someone didn't go there and capture them. So whether it be, somebody in their basement, who knows what, carving elves. It's just something interesting, I think, that is out there that people need to see. I love to document, capture that, bring it up to where people can maybe also enjoy it. So that's it started with that, with the subculture, looking for that interesting little story.
Well, you've certainly been capturing other wandering minds, if you will. You see, recently you had an article in, I think it was Sarnia This Week, did an article on you. And you've got a YouTube channel going with this now. And you're really, it's all different angles of the wandering mind, I guess it is, because music is one thing, and that's fantastic. But let's talk about the documentary you did on the Indigenous residential schools.
Yes. A couple of years ago, I was approached by a committee. They're called Living Into Right Relations. And this was primarily made up of First Nations people and also the United Church. There's some people from United Church in there. So they called me up. And just to digress a little bit, they had seen a documentary I had done prior to that, a short one, and it caught their attention. And they thought maybe I could be some help to them with their stories. So I met with them at Anjanon in the little United Church there in the basement, and we sat around and had a conversation about what they wanted. Basically, what they were looking for was to capture the story of 3 elders that were willing to tell their story about residential school. And these women went in the 40s. So they were getting up there, and it wasn't so easy for them to travel to talk about what they were doing. That was getting harder and harder. So their idea was to capture their stories and maybe bring it out more like my subcultures to the public, out to where more people could see it and let it maybe travel on its own and less with them having to do the traveling. So that's how that started. We met. They seemed to think that it was something that I could help them with. So we proceeded over several months to sit down, do interviews. I actually visited one of the residential schools in Brantford. That was the Mohawk Institute.
Okay.
It's still there. It's one of the last ones left, but it's under renovation, and I assume they're going to make it sort of not a museum, but somewhere where you could go and walk the halls and visit. And with the stories and the pictures that are there from those days.
Now, the last school was just closed. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but it was 96, 97, I think.
Yes.
And this had to be an emotional, sensitive story to share.
That's putting it very lightly. Very, very emotional. When you're talking to somebody and filming and asking them questions like you do all the time, and it becomes to a point where you feel like you are in a movie.
Right.
It's like they're telling you something that you just cannot believe is real, and opening up their feelings. About a time in their life when they were young and things were not good for them at all. So it's almost like out of body experience to sit through that. Very, very tough. But they did. They were brave, and they told their stories. And I did my best to capture that in a way that it would all come out truthfully in the way it was said, because it's so easy to manipulate stories in the media. You can cut a word off. And it's not fair to them. They told their stories, so I did my best to keep those stories very true to the way that they were spoken to me.
And you would have had to have, at least I know as an interview, sometimes you have to coach people and you have to establish a relationship. Did you establish relationships with these folks that you were talking with? And did you continue those relationships afterwards?
Yes. First, I had a lot of studying to do myself, because this residential school, this part of Canadian history, wasn't taught in school. I never heard about it. It wasn't in the history books. I learned about American history and a lot of other things, but not about this part of history. So I knew a little bit about it, but my eyes were opened wide once I started to really delve in and study it. So first I went through that for, several weeks, making sure that I had an idea of, what I was talking about when they showed up. We didn't have a lot of time to establish a relationship prior to. Generally, documentaries, you'll sit down, do pre-interviews. We didn't have time to do that, but it all went, they were very open, and we established a very quick relationship, and they were very open to the questions and answered them honestly. Since then, yes, we are good friends. We travel with the documentary, the three ladies that I interviewed, as much as we can, as much as they're available. In fact, we kind of jokingly say, but it's true, that the idea was to do the documentary so they would travel less, and now they're traveling 10 times as much, which is good. That means the interest is rising, but they can now sit and we show the documentary and then they discuss it afterwards, and they seem to be pretty good with that. But yeah, we're become really good friends. See them often.
That's fantastic. So there's an experience that's come out of this for you as well. Let me ask you, why didn't we hear about this before? Where has this been hidden? Like, I didn't take it in history class. So what happened there?
I think I can shed some light on that. What happened was, now let me just back up just a few bits of the facts. It went on for 150 years. So this started in early 1832 was the first established residential school. Not to say that before that similar things weren't happening, but that's when residential school was established. So you have generations upon generations upon generations going to these schools. At these schools, we don't have time to go into, all the details and the bad things. But one of the things was they were conditioned not to speak about the residential schools. They were conditioned, seriously conditioned, over threats of jail, of strapping, just terrible things. They could never write about it in a letter. They could never talk about it to their parents or anybody. So when you condition a child, they went in there as young as a year old.
Right.
They would just take them from the front yard. Hard to believe. So, and they would had to be at 16. They were let out, and they're let out to where? To nowhere. There was no family to go to by that point. They didn't know them. But all those years they were conditioned. Seriously, don't you ever speak about the things that happen here. So when you do that to a child, they spend their entire life keeping it to themselves. Yeah. That's a big part of the reason why they don't talk about it still. And all these years have gone by. The government obviously isn't going to talk about it. They don't really want to spread around that history of how terrible it was, and they were responsible for it. They're the one that put the act in place that said to kill the Indian, save the child. That was actually legislation. So they're not going to bring it up. The kids aren't. They grow up. They keep it. They're so ashamed. They just keep it to themselves. So it became a non-topic. It's only it seems in the last few years where some people, the brave ones, have decided, it's time we speak about this. There's not that many survivors left, and soon it'll be all forgotten.
Right.
So it's important that we capture this now.
Well, there's the importance of the documentary as well. And what's the name of the documentary again?
That particular documentary is called "We Are Still Here."
Right.
And it is uploaded. It is online now. I don't know if there's any way later we can put a link, but if you put in "We Are Still Here" and then type in my name, that'll shorten it down, because there's a lot of things that are about "We Are Still Here" all over the
so
my name or Sarnia.
On YouTube then? On
YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll share that
on YouTube.
We'll get that link, and we'll share it after the show for sure.
That would be great. That'd be great. It's a 40-minute. There's also a shorter version. I encourage people to watch the 40-minute version. The short version is I use when I don't have enough time to do a talk and then show the full length, but 40 minutes. So that was called "We Are Still Here," and then we decided that we should follow up and talk to the children of survivors. So this will start to give us the idea of what has happened, why things are. We're not saying that things aren't bad, in the First Nations communities. We know that. It's how did it get there? So by interviewing the children of the survivors, we now have a better understanding of what it was like to be raised by a residential school survivor. And we call them survivors because many did not survive it.
Right.
One fact that really floored me was you had a better chance of coming back from the Second World War as a Canadian soldier than you did coming back from a residential school. Truth. 6,000 children died there, documented. A lot of the children, they didn't document, where they went. But anyway, we did a follow-up. We interviewed the children, and hearing them talk about how it was being raised. I mean, you can just imagine if you were raised by someone that spent their life in prison, they wouldn't know about nurturing and such.
No.
And they only know that, a heavy hand maybe gets the job done. So these traits that they picked up in the residential school were passed on for generations and generations and generations.
Wow.
That's the second document. That's the follow-up one. And that one is called Aftershock. And it's, we can put those links up. I can get those out there. They are available now.
Links, we'll be sure to share them after the show. I'm close to running out of time here, so thanks for sharing all of that. There was something I did want to touch on. I think it's really important. Let's talk about another side of Wandering Mind, though, that likes to and of course, you being a musician yourself and have been for many years, that's another side of things that Wandering Mind likes to present. And recently, you did win on Peace Pilot. I did actually, and I was just talking to Andrew Brody, is the kind of the front man singer from that band, and I just happened to be at an event, and it was their very first gig, and I went there to do some filming for something else, and I asked them if I could film them, and we ended up. That was the first one of the songs from A Wandering Mind, so that's the music side, and there again, I'm trying to take. I'm trying to give back to the community. I was a musician. Nobody was really there supporting, saying, hey, can I come and film you? There just it wasn't happening in the 90s. It just wasn't that way. No. So I try to get to any event I can, give them a nice, clean film, hopefully a decent sound, and it's something that they will have forever and they can use for promotion. And I just hand it over. I'm happy to do that. That's the songs from Wandering Mind. I know where you're coming from, my friend. I definitely do, and it's great that you're doing that. Dwayne, I want to thank you so much for joining me, and thanks for your efforts and what you're doing here to give back to the community and the stories that you're telling as well. And we'll tell everybody you can find you on Facebook and YouTube, Wandering Mind. Yes, I have a YouTube channel. And if people are interested, they'll see I try to do one a week of some local talent of varying different types. It could be acoustic to heavier to country. I'm going to cover them all. I don't have one set path for that. Right. So it's YouTube channel, and then of course Facebook, Wandering Mind, or Dwayne Cloes. Either way will get you. Yeah. Perfect. Well, we're going to share that video right now, but I want to say thank you to you again for joining me today, Dwayne. And please come back again and keep us up to date on what's happening with you and Wandering Mind. Oh, I'd love to. There's always new stuff popping up, so we'll have lots to talk about, I'm sure, next time. All right. We'll do it again. Thanks, Dwayne. All right. Dwayne Cloes joining us here today. Wandering Mind presents, and I see our friend Jay Peckham showed the one of the links that you can watch. We are still here. We'll get those links as well and post them after. And I want to say thanks to all of our guests. Well, you just saw Dwayne there. Of course, Barbara Prescott joined us for Art in the Park happening this weekend out in Petrolia, and our friend Jenny Greensmith talking about the pancake breakfast, the annual Rotary pancake breakfast, and talking about what Rotary does for our community as well. I'm going to play this. Well, actually, I think what I will do before we play this, I'll just say a couple of things. I want to say special thank you to our sponsor, Ask Guy, the Rapid Guy. You can visit him online at askguy.ca. And we also want to say a special thank you to our ongoing sponsor, Joe's Discount Tire here in Sarnia. All right, we're going to wrap things up with Peace Pilot. That's all the time I got for you this week, everybody. Have a great week and an even better weekend, and I will see you next time right here on the show live. Bye for now.
In the back of your mind lies a web of guilt that waits to rob you blind. Did you kiss her? Do you miss her? Is there more in meets the eye? So now you're waiting for the next vibration. What are you looking for? An explanation? Pay attention now that things are growing so far out of here. Did you kiss her? Do you miss her? Is it more than you can stand? So now you're waiting for the next vibration. What are you waiting for? An explanation? Thank you.